Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are all well on your Wednesday morning. And you're feeling up for a little bit of the old drawing and painting. And I hope that you had lovely Tuesdays as well. I have my little coffee here with me, ready. I've got a really good drawing. In my opinion, it's good. Well, it was fun to do the little sketch, so hopefully it'll be a good drawing for us to do today for our hump day, because we are nearly halfway through our week. So that is something to celebrate. And I hope that it's a nice sun weather wherever you are in the world. That's all I've got to give you today. Yesterday, did anything interesting happen? I went on Twitch for a few hours, which was really lovely. And I got loads of my sketchbook done, and I did a couple of extra paintings and the illustrations that you'll see on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, put one of them up this morning. So that was fun. Yeah, that's all really. Fill me in, tell me something interesting, please. My life, I need some interesting things going on. So I'm going to spin you around now into, there we go, lovely. Okay, and we are just going to start today with our paper, watercolor paper, our fine line pen, and I'm going to start by drawing a kind of kidney bean shape again, but with a little gap. So it's going to be kind of like coming around like this. So I'm going to start about here on the top corner bit. It's kind of coming around in a curve. It curves around like this and comes up and around like that. So this bit's a bit higher than this bit. If you were to do two lines, this one is slightly higher and this one's slightly lower, but generally about the same shape, like so. Okay, now we're just going to mirror this line on the inside, starting from about here and coming around, keeping about the same thickness, and then it kind of goes off like that as well. So you've just drawn like a big smile, basically. A big kind of smiling frog face is what it looks like at the moment. Okay, then we are going to draw a kind of scoop underneath here, starting from slightly in and slightly in there. So not coming from here, coming from about here. And we just want it to scoop around. You can stop and have a look, because sometimes your hand covers that and think, okay, I want it to come to about here. So I can draw back on myself and try and get that to match. Don't worry if it doesn't exactly match. Kind of like that situation. And then we're going to draw another little scoop, but that comes out and around. So actually, no, we're not going to do that. Ignore me. We'll leave it like that for now. You can come and do something, your own thing down there later. Okay, next we're going to focus on this area here. So in this area, we are going to do a ziggy line that starts here and comes out, in and down and around. So I'll show you a bit closer there. Up here, and it comes out, in, down and around. And it can look a little bit different to that. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. And then here, I'm going to do a little kind of round, upside down U shape, about that distance from the original shape. And I'll do the same U shape about there as well. Okay. Now I'm going to find about halfway, if anything, a little bit further to the left. And I'm going to draw a line that with a gap between this part and this part, a line that comes up and around, and then down like that. This might all seem a little bit abstract if you're not sure what's going on yet, so I might put a bit of context here. And on the bottom of this line, if you're still a bit like, what are you doing? Do not fear, I'm going to draw a foot. 1, 2, 3. That's kind of disappearing off the edge. And I'm turning this into a leg that's kind of emerging from there. But it's emerging from something because this is in fact a bathtub. So this is lots of bubbles and water. And up here we have the head. So I wanted to leave it a little bit ambiguous because then you can draw whichever character and you can show as much or as little as you like. So I am live on the internet right now, so I'm going to be very modest with my bubbles and have my bubbles covering the majority of the figure like that with just little shoulders poking out here. But I will draw another leg coming out and resting on the edge of the bath here. But this is really now your own interpretation. So that's my foot. So it's never that comfortable, is it, when you're in the bath and you're like resting your feet because they're always like cold and sliding around. But I'll show you, like, you can draw your face. Don't worry about all of this at the moment. We're gonna come back to this and make it look like proper. I'm gonna have this person looking out, and I think for a change, because I rarely draw men, I'm gonna turn this into a guy. So let's do an ear there and then kind of hair. And neck. I don't know. You can go wild with your design here. Could have lots of wet hair kind of falling down the side or whatever. Draw an eyebrow in. Just having a nice chilled time in the bath. That's my person. Very much the style that I normally go for though, but you do you. Okay, and then we're going to join up this part to this part, kind of mirroring this because we've got this lovely, luscious scoop roll top bath. I was going to say scoop neck bath then, but it's not really a scoop neck bath. But you get scoop neck tops. And then this is the water level in it. Kind of coming around here like that. Just add kind of bits of foam like that. And then here I'm going to draw the taps. So I'm just going to draw like one big upside down J shape or an umbrella hook. And then the controls there, but you can just kind of make that up. I never really know how to do. I always get lazy with that kind of thing and just draw that. Okay, so now I'm going to do the background a little bit and then you can come back in and add more details to your figure in the bath, whoever it may be. Just adding little ankle bits there and little knee bits. I always like to do that. So the background, you can put this bath wherever. It could be just like randomly in a field, a bit creepy, but you know, it happens. It could be in a really fancy, luxurious resort. It could be on a beach in an infinity pool, whatever. I'm going to do it in a fancy place. So I'm going to have some really lush curtains coming down here. So on this side, curtains, and this is going to be my big window view of whatever, because it's a bit fancy, but he's quite high up, so he doesn't mind about being in the nude. And then I'm going to put a little table here. This was inspired by a little Google search of person in bath, and actually it wasn't that dodgy. You generally just get pictures of baths, which is good. A little candle there, little table, just giving the picture a little bit more of an interesting vibe, having this little extra bits floating around like that. And then the curtains are going to come down kind of like here, and they're going to be so luscious that they kind of just drag on the floor, a bit like my mum's curtains that she's just made. Luscious, velvety. Honestly, making curtains is a skill that we would all benefit from having. As a child, my mum made all of our curtains. She's still at it. Pretty impressive. So this is the bottom of the other side of the curtains. Ooh. Just drawing the heavy lines draping down. Like that. Then I'm just going to draw a line to signify that there's a corner there. That is the kind of corner of the room. And then I was going to do a base for the bath, but actually I'm going to do like those royal feet, you know, the ones that kind of like stick and have a curl. Like that. Any kind of design of bath bottom will do. Show an example there. And there. And there's my table. Then next up, I'm going to leave this bit blank, I think, for now. I could put a painting there, maybe. And look more pyramid-y, don't they? Oh no, have I disconnected? Oh no, actually not. Put some snow there, snow-capped mountains. Maybe the sun either setting or rising, we're not sure. Just keeping it kind of simple for now. All right, so now all I've got left to do on mine is to draw the that, always satisfying. Maybe some hair on his toes as well. And I think that's pretty much it. You could also draw some floorboards if you wanted to make it real fancy. Let's try and draw floorboards coming at me. Just trying the floorboards kind of coming around that, and then you could add kind of the wood effect that we've done many times before. Just little lines and then the occasional swirl. You can make those original lines a little bit more pronounced if you wanted to as well. But you don't have to. Even drawing on top of my original lines. Nice. And then I think I need to just put a little painting on the wall here. Otherwise it looks a bit odd. And it can be maybe, I don't know what, I'm going to ruin it. So maybe I'll do mountains. I was tempted to do like a dog always, but keep it sophisticatedness. That's what I say. There we go. Okie dokie. So now it is time to paint. Put some bubbles there and just add a little nose. Now it's time to paint, guys. Let's get painting. So let's start with the candle. Do a kind of soft candle glow. It's got a bit more red in it actually on the curtains. And around where the candle is. It's me just trying to be clever. A soft warmth. Oh. I'm not sure if my connection's gone down or not. Okay, thanks. And we're back. Okay, then I'm just going to do the body of this guy. Nice. Chill time in the mountains. In his nice hot bath. Relax. And I know his face is very red at the moment, but I'm going to use his face as my palette now for his legs. As long as I do that relatively quickly, it shouldn't cause a problem. Although maybe I should be painting it a bit more red because, you know, when you're in the bath and you stay in the bath too long and then you come out and you're just like a lobster, really hot. You stand up and you get a little hairbrush from all the heat. So I'm going to add a little bit more red. Red hot bath. Definitely some red cheeks. It's risky because that red could spread, but that's okay. We're allowing that to happen. Okay. I'm going to add really subtle blue bits to the water. Bluey green bits, just kind of. To give it a bit of something, so it's not just white bubbles. Or maybe his bath water is all filthy because he's been out trekking all day. Maybe. I'm just going to get that blue, a little bit more blue, and drag it on the mountains. Gives the impression that it's cold outside, despite the fact that the sun's there. I guess this is quite a complex painting now because there's lots of elements to think about. But don't get overwhelmed if you are thinking like, okay, this is too much for me. Just focus on the bath and don't focus on the background. I want to do like golden curtains. So I've got my raw sienna here. That's kind of the closest thing I have to gold, I think, on my palette. Just going to paint them in a block color and not worry too much about doing the light thing. Nice. And these as well. And despite the light of the candle, they are also gold, because have you ever heard of having 2 different colors of curtain? You know, 2 different halves of curtain, different colors. I don't think that's the thing. I think you're supposed to have the same color, aren't you? Well, I guess you can do what you want in this world, but it probably looks better to have the same color of curtain. But the work that I did first with the red kind of given this side a bit more depth, a bit more oomph, which is good. Nice. Like that. Lash, and then I'm going to get my wood color, my burnt sienna, and just do the wooden floorboards, at least the first layer. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Sweet. We're on the road to 1,000 followers. We'll be there one day, maybe, hopefully. So thank you to all of those, to everyone who has shared this group or this page and joined in or just talked about it with your friends. It's nice of you. We appreciate it. I hope that you found a bit of value in starting your mornings with a bit of creativity, or just watching even and enjoying watching someone create stuff. I enjoy that too. So Twitch is quite fun to go and watch people do their thing. I'm going to just mirror this greeny colour on the wall, just a really subtle colour there, just so it's not a bright white. Drag it off a little bit there too. You can let that brown seep up. And then I'm going to do like a pinky sky, because I want to, really. And drag it down to a bit of purple with the blue. But you just do whatever feels right for you. Blazing sun, moon thing. Maybe I'll put a bit of that on here. Kind of catching there. Okay. Put a little bit of shading underneath this rim. Oh, my brush is a little bit dirty to do that really, but I will. can live with a dirty brush, I suppose. This bath doesn't look that clean, does it, anymore? Bathing in a dirty bath, gross. Just sounds like student days. But actually, I didn't have a bath as a student for many of the years. Probably a good thing. Okay, I'm going to do this table in, oh, I regret this immediately. I'm not going to do it in that yellow. I'm going to do it in kind of a dark brown, like a wood. Just a casual wooden table, don't mind me. Get a bit of colour on that candle. A little bit of colour on the painting in the background. Kind of mimicking the view a bit. Bit too much colour there. Almost. And there we have it. I think that's pretty much done in a way. This has done this, but that's okay. I can spread this out by just adding a bit of water so it goes evenly out, kind of. Let's see what that does as it dries. We have our happy person in our bath, or maybe I'll just add a bit of colour to his hair. Maybe I'll do a redhead to link with the sun. That's what this painting needed. I knew there was something missing. So I can be a little bit loose with this because the skin has dried. Gorgeous red hair. That. Add a bit of that into the painting too. Just connect up the colours. Drop a bit into the candle. And I'm happy with that. I think that is quite a fun image. Let's do a little slide along. Just chilling in my bath, don't mind me. There's beautiful sun. Don't mind me. Excuse me, guys, can you give me some privacy? Thank you. So there we have it, our hump day drawing. I hope that you enjoyed that and that you have a nice image of someone relaxing and bathing in their bath or their dream bath. That would actually be a little bit of a dream, wouldn't it, to have a roll top bath on like a high level with a view of gorgeous mountains and nothing else. We can dream. One day, maybe when I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll get there. Something to aim for anyway. I hope that you have amazing Wednesdays and that you are feeling cool, zen and relaxed. And I hope to see you here tomorrow for Thursday's edition, getting closer to that weekend every single day. Let me know what you thought of today's session, if you enjoyed it, if you like the topic. And as always, send pictures of your work my way. You can do that by DMing me on Instagram or tagging me in your stories on Instagram or finding me somehow. I don't know if you can tag pictures in the comments here. I'm not sure. I'm such a grandma. Anyway, have good Wednesdays. I'll see you tomorrow for Thursday's edition. Bye.